I don't think they would be too surprised at the technology because that would be expected. I mean, you would expect things to have evolved. You know, you would have expected to see some of these things. You might not have been able to envision them, but I don't think they'd be too surprised at that. I think what they might be surprised to see is the difference in the culture on campus. They would be surprised to see the differences in culture, but not surprised to see that the cultures still aren't as interactive at this time. You know, I think their expectation, they might have thought that there might have been less, even though Beloit does a good job, less segregation on the campus itself. I think they would be surprised to see that there's less of that than when they came, you know, and maybe to the point of even being a little disappointed. So I think that might be one of the things, but I don't think there'd be too much surprise in the technology part at all. I think they might be surprised to see that the buildings haven't changed a whole lot. They've been cleaned up a little bit and a few added, but they've kind of withstood the test of time. I think they'd be very surprised to see the variety of students we have here, from the areas that they come from and the places that they do represent. That little old Beloit, Wisconsin, the way it was started, represents, you know, 49 states in a given year and 50 plus countries. I think that would really surprise them.
Founders came back, they'd be so overwhelmed by the technology. I think they put it aside for the moment. And yeah, the cultural changes. We sitting here in the shadow of a chapel that's had various meanings over the years and ranged from religious to organizational to rock concerts, to comedians. I mean, it's still a gathering place, much like the library, which continues to be a major center for students, not just for the technology, but because it's where they can come together to think and work, and that's critically important now. The campus, you know, this is a beautiful campus that has not changed dramatically in its years. You still have the Middle College and North and South Colleges, Pearson's, all these buildings that have been here for generations. But I think the attitude probably toward why people are in college. I was sent off to college with the message, you're not in college to get a job, you're there to get an education. I don't think we're going to hear that anymore.
Well, like I told you, we've been hearing things in the spirit world on how this country's going to perdition in a handbasket. Well, now that I see what our country's become, in spite of her shortcomings, well, I might be old-fashioned to say this, Professor, but daggone it, Johnny, I'm going back to being proud of America.